Hello, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome for the first time if you are new here. My name is Adele Ashley, and I share everything from book content to vlogs and bullet journals. So today I just have my November Bujo set up. I admittedly was very stumped about what exactly I wanted to do for this. And I have been a little bit recently. September, I had a good idea of what I was going to do. October, I was like, you know what, you're just going to use those stickers. And then November, I was like, what do I do? I have a plan for December. I'm testing it out to see if it actually works. But I think because I'm putting so much thought and energy into my December Bujo spread, November kind of fell to the wayside. But I turned to Pinterest for some inspiration, looked through my board of things that I have saved, things that I liked in the past. And one thing I noticed was I did have this one spread that I saved that used yarn. And I will link to the picture below so you guys can kind of see what inspired this whole but the yarn theme just kind of stuck out. I think it might be because on my list of things that I want to do in the fall, I actually have complete knitting a sweater because I started one earlier in the year, like January, and never got to finishing it. So I'm determined that I want to complete it this fall so I could wear it through the winter, and like knitting it. So I think it's just kind of like top of mind already. The weather's getting colder. It's like cozy season, you could say. So I think it's kind of like all of that. And it seemed relevant for November to be kind of hunkering down a little bit more and starting to knit. It's still warm here in Toronto in October, but November definitely going to be hitting into those cold weather. So I set up my cover page, and then I just moved into my at a glance page. I drew all of those little yarn balls, and I have to say it changed as I got further and further through the spread. So, at times I found that the balls looked a little bit like volleyballs, like that yellow one there. I just cannot unsee like a Wilson volleyball. But you can notice that I start drawing them in different ways. So sometimes I do the black lines first, sometimes I color them in first, sometimes you see me bringing out the mild liner just to kind of like add a little bit more depth to it. I don't know. It was all over the place. It worked. It got the theme across, but I just definitely broadened my horizons with drawing a yarn ball and did not realize that there's so many different ways that you could draw them, but also so many ways to make them look the same, which is what I was trying not to do. I wanted each one to be kind of a little bit distinct in its own sort of way. So my month at a glance, this time I'm doing just a really big calendar. In the past few months, I know I've put a calendar on like my front page and then had this page as more like text based. But yeah, I did the calendar, realized rather quickly that I actually started the month on the wrong day. The 1st of November is actually a Friday. And then quickly looked for a way to sort it out. So started with using just a pen to black out those boxes, quickly went to a Sharpie, realized that might be too thick or like too saturated for the paper, and I didn't want it to bleed through to the next page. Went back to using my Micron pen and then just use a jelly roll to write the days of the week over it in white, just as like a quick fix there. For my mood page, I also wanted to do something a little bit different. So in the past, I've just been doing like a calendar or like a dot chart, and just putting in a dot for like how I feel for each day, like corresponding with like the type, like happy or sad or stressed or whatever that may be. I opted to do something similar, so I'm still going to be coloring it in, but I made a giant yarn ball with 30 days on it. And we're just going to be coloring in each day with the color for that corresponds with it. So if I'm happy, for example, it's going to be like a pink. If I'm feeling fairly neutral, we're going to put a gray in there. And then we're just going to end up having a really colorful like yarn ball at the end of the day, which I'm kind of really excited to see. Another like just visual representation of my mood over the course of the month. And then I also have my habit spread. So this one honestly took me, this is actually the page that took me the longest time to put together. I really wanted to make it look as if it was just like knitted cloth, I guess you could call it, on the page. So essentially it was like a needle. I had my little knit cloth hanging off of it on the edge, and then the calendar is just going there in the middle. Really tried to make sure that I can make those things look like stitches. So I kind of started, it looks like hearts, but it's really just kind of like ovals that are kind of like overlapping and together. And I did that essentially for all 5 of my habits. And then just gonna write down the habit that I'm tracking on the side there as well. I really like the lettering that I did here. I really tried to incorporate like the word into the yarn. So it's as if the yarn is a yarn ball is unraveling and making the word. And as you can see, I used a whole bunch of different lettering here. I think that's something I need to really work on doing, is trying out different lettering styles and being really consistent with it. I tend to default to just my handwriting, which I know a lot of people tell me my handwriting is really nice, but it's just my everyday writing, so it doesn't feel like it's special to me, I guess, and I just want it to be special. I guess. Try different things, try writing different ways, hand lettering and stuff like that. But yeah, I just made my content spread. You've seen these before, still keeping it very similar to how I always do it, was just the calendar section to write down what each thing is. And then on the side, instead of just like a general create page, I actually decided to put them individually again and create like little yarn balls that are unraveling underneath it with the thread. So just like a little dot with a line underneath it to kind of like differentiate all of them. Yeah, really simple there. Really, really simple. And then I moved on to my memories page. So I have been doing this for the past few months. I really think I only started this in like this book, starting in July, and it has quickly become one of my favorite spreads to fill out. I do still have my like what I like my pictures of the month spread at the beginning of my book, like this month in pictures or this year in pictures. And I absolutely love it with the Polaroids, but it is nice to just have some simple moments that I just managed to like clip and place in the book as well. I feel like I always say this, but like it's just capturing the moment, remembering it. It's a memory. There's nothing like bad about it. And then just to like pinpoint it. Sometimes something that is kind of big for me in the moment is not necessarily what I'm thinking of for the entire month. And it's just really nice to have it there. And then after that, I got into my weeklies. So I challenged myself again to use different setups for my weekly spread. So each week actually is set up a different way. I have quickly learned from October, I don't like the time calendar at the bottom of my page. It actually drives me nuts. I don't have enough room to write stuff. And I don't love it. So we're going back to boxes. No more like time day tracker. And we're just going to write the appointments in like those day of the week boxes at the top of the page. And then I have my section to do like tasks, things that I'm creating, as well as a section for notes at the bottom. One thing was like trying out different spreads is I quickly realized like what I do or don't love. And I think that is so good because now I know, like, moving forward, I'm not going to put dates at the at the bottom of a spread because it's going to drive me insane. But I do like it if I have like an individual box, no matter what size it is, for each day of the week, that I could just kind of like differentiate it all there. So yeah, that essentially was my weekly spread, or one of them. Just wrapping things up, this was actually one of the easiest spreads that I've done. I really needed something that was kind of like quick, easy to do. Didn't require a lot of thought. I think I put the most thought into actually setting up those weeklies and finding something different for each week. But I just love how it turned out and how like colorful it is, and a little bit different as well. So like I said, I will include my inspiration image down below. I'll have it linked in the description box. But until next time, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Please subscribe. I love chatting with you all in the comments as well and just finding out what you're doing. And tag me if you took any inspiration from anything here. But until next time, have a great day. I'll chat with you later. Bye.